On the news at 7, Ondo State Government partners World Bank to save threatened communities from erosion. All is set for APC National Convention as Southwest Party chieftains meet Governor Akeredolu for last-minute consultations. House of Representatives former Deputy Speaker Yusuf Lasu resigns APC membership. Few hours to National Convention. And Supreme Court upholds deregistration of 22 political parties by INEC. Good evening and welcome to the news at 7. I am Akinwumi Abodunde. Tonight we begin with environmental issues. As part of efforts to tackle the menace of erosion, the Ondo State government has partnered the World Bank through the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project NewMap to find a lasting solution to the crisis of environmental challenges. Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Sunday Akinwalire, made this known while inspecting ongoing drain construction sites at Oderele in Irele local government area. Joy Pius reports that the inspection tour also took the team to Ayeka community in Okitipupa local government area.
The Ondo State Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Sunday Akinwalire, led staff of the Ministry, Nigeria Erosion Control and Watershed Management Project, NewMap, and other relevant agencies on an inspection of ongoing erosion control projects at Okeigbala, Ogunlana, Zion, and Ayedun streets, all in Oderele. According to the Commissioner, about 3 kilometers of road within the area will be asphalted by the state government as part of measures to address flooding, which is already posing a big problem to adjoining street routes in the community.
These are part of the infrastructural decay inherited by the state government. And our own dear governor, Akeredolu, has been running his finger to the bone marrow to see that all this decay are being addressed. We thank God for the level of job done there. Engineering design, well done. The structures, well packaged. And in fact, this is a very big job being and that the state is trying to do for people in those states. This road, that's Ogunlade Street, and as well as the other street, Zion Street, that will link up with River Jordan. I learned initially, or some months back, this road is impassable, but through the intervention of Mr. Governor in conjunction with the World Bank, you can see what we are experiencing now.
Ondo State Project Coordinator of NewMap, Mr. Marcos Adewodun, and the engineer in charge of the project, Mr. Ogunbadejo Kolawole, assured that the drainage project will be delivered in record time.
The moment we pass the rainy season last year, the contractor picked very well. You can see how far they have gone now. I have no doubt in my mind that the job will be completed.
It's a big project. So we have at least, we look at this, almost finish the whole thing. We're at 70%. So by next we'll conclude the whole thing. So I really thank God for cooperation. The synergy between the consultants and the clans. So they really cooperate with us. So that's why we're able to achieve to this level.
Residents expressed enthusiasm at the state government's intervention.
ṣùgbọ́n èèyàn bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀sẹ̀ àti bíi sáà kan wáyé mo rí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn jẹ́ pé à ń ti fẹ́ fi ilé hàn lẹ̀ à ń padà wá.
iṣẹ́ gidi ni wọ́n ṣe torí pé àìmọye àwọn èèyàn tó ń fara pa nígbà tó bá ń kọjá tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n bọ́n ṣe ṣe yìí àwa mọ̀ pé àlàáfíà ti dé bá ìlú wa.
The team also proceeded to Ayeka community in Okitipupa local government area of the state to inspect the gully erosion control projects being handled in the community. Akinwalire frowned at the low pace of work and charged the contractor to redouble efforts to meet deadline so as to avert the devastating impacts of flood. The team was also at the palace of Ayeka to pay homage to the regent, Princess Oluyemi Bajowa, who commended the efforts carried out so far by the state government. The exercise is expected to be replicated across flood-prone areas in the state. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Staying with issues that have to do with the environment, the March edition of the monthly environmental sanitation exercise holds tomorrow across Ondo State. A statement by the General Manager of the State Waste Management Authority, Mrs. Ayo Adeyemo, said there will be restriction of human and vehicular movement between 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock in the morning. Mrs. Adeyemo urged residents to use the 3-hour period to clean their surroundings. She said anyone caught violating environmental sanitation regulations will face the full wrath of the law. Let's move from the environment to politics. Intensive consultations are ongoing in Abuja ahead of tomorrow's national convention of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. We are now being joined by our correspondent Wahab Bankole, who is covering the convention in Abuja. Wahab, what do you have?
Ahead of Saturday's National Convention of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC in Abuja, the governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who is also the chairman of the Southern Governors Forum and the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, has continued to play host to dignitaries from across the country. First to visit Governor Akeredolu at the Ondo State Governors Lodge in Asokoro, Abuja, was the immediate past governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosun. Thereafter, it was the turn of Osrc State Governor Boyega Oyitola and his Ogun State counterpart, Dapo Abiodun, to meet minds with Governor Akeredolu. Later, Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was also here to meet minds with Governor Akeredolu. The meetings, held behind closed doors, we understand, were meant to actually cross the T's and dot the I's ahead of the national convention. From Abuja, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
All right, thank you, Wahab. And delegates from Ondo State have arrived at the Governor's Lodge in Asokoro, Abuja. The delegates, who include lawmakers and other party faithful, are expected to interface with the leader of the party ahead of the convention. They are expected to further harmonize the position of the state ahead of the convention. In the meantime, Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has appealed to the state's delegates to be law-abiding and be good ambassadors of the state at the National Convention of the APC billed for Abuja tomorrow. Addressing the people at the Governor's Lodge in the FCT ahead of the party's convention, the governor, who is the leader of the party in the state, appealed to political appointees who are not allowed to vote at the convention to show understanding and be law-abiding.
As of Rep, all of them are identified on their section 84-12. So the party is not prepared to take a risk. So you might find out that don't let us jump to conclusion yet. But there are fears that it might not be observers. I think what there's a point. So I don't know how much this is. So it's left to you. That's your law. Political appointees, they cannot vote. So those who are not political appointees will go to vote. And those who are here, by virtue of who are, they call them as official, my past statutory delegates will be affected. If you are a political appointee, or you will be able to vote by virtue of the fact that you are a statutory delegate. Those who are past speakers, all past members of the House of Rep, all senators, principal officers in the House of Assembly will vote.
Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who is also the leader of the APC in the state, addressing delegates of the state to the elective national convention of the APC in Abuja. Staying with the National Convention, an aspirant to the position of National Vice Chairman Southwest of the All Progressives Congress, Isaac Kekemeke, says he is determined to promote the political ideology of the party in the region. While fielding questions from Osrc in Abuja ahead of the convention, Kekemeke thanked Governor Akeredolu and other leaders of the party in the region for the trust reposed in him by supporting him for the leadership position.
I'm grateful to Governor Akeredolu for finding me fit to be recommended to the Southwest leadership of the party to preside over the affairs of the party in the region. I'm also thankful to the other governors, the brother governors, and other leaders of the party in the Southwest who did not object to the nomination. I'm grateful to everyone who have since applauded the decision of the governor and have supported it. If you saw my post, for me, it's about adding value. And I said that I'm set to add value.
Staying with politics but away from the National Convention of the APC, a former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Lasson Yusuf, has resigned from the All Progressives Congress. Yusuf, who contested for the APC governorship ticket during the February 19 primaries alongside the incumbent governor of Osun State, Adegboyega Oyetola, and Moshood Adeoti, who was backed by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola. It was gathered that the ex-parliamentarian submitted his resignation from APC at the party's state secretariat in Osogbo today. You're watching the news at 7 on OSRC television. You can also watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook, OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel, OSRC TV Ondo. Stay with us. It's still the news at 7 on OSRC television. Thank you for staying with us. The Independent National Electoral Commission has explained why it is yet to take any action on the court judgment which ordered the sack of Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi and his deputy Eric Igwe. In a statement, Chairman of INEC's Committee on Voter Education, Festus Okoye, said the electoral umpire does not want to rush to make a decision amid the multiple litigations that have emerged. Okoye stated that the decision will affect the order sacking 16 members of the Ebonyi State House of Assembly. A federal high court in Abuja had sacked Umahi and Igwe as governor and deputy governor of Ebonyi State on the request of the PDP after both men defected to the APC in November 2020. Meanwhile, the Federal High Court in Abuja has postponed its judgment on the suit filed by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) seeking to declare the seat of the Cross River State Governor Professor Ben Ayade and his deputy Ivara Eso vacant. The main opposition party filed the suit following the defection of the DOE to the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC). Justice Taiwo, who initially fixed today to decide on the case, has now postponed the judgment in the suit until April 6, although the court did not adduce any reason for the postponement of the verdict. It has notified the parties about the new date. Staying with the courts, the Supreme Court has upheld the deregistration of 22 political parties carried out by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The parties were among 74 others scrapped by INEC in 2020 following their poor performance in previous general elections. Justice Ejembi Eko today set aside a judgment of the Court of Appeal Abuja Division which had nullified the deregistration of the political parties. He was delivering judgment in an appeal instituted by INEC against the judgment of the Court of Appeal. Justice Eko held that the Court of Appeal on its own raised the issue of lack of fair hearing in favor of the 22 scrapped parties and arrived at a conclusion without hearing from other parties in the matter. Away from the courts, Ondo State government has directed that no petrol station must keep above 500 litres of petrol in its dump. Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Special Duties and Strategy, Dr. Donyo Debowale, who said the directive is part of efforts to checkmate illegal activities of marketers, noted that airing petrol stations risk closure. Zahid Aribisala has more.
The Governor's Special Task Force, as part of efforts to relieve residents of the attendant hardship caused by shortage in the supply of fuel, which started in February, and the illegal hoarding of petrol by some marketers, began an enforcement exercise. Since the commencement of this operation, the team has enforced the sale of petrol at official pump price while also clamping down on Shylock marketers. In our latest development, the team's effort has uncovered the connivance of major marketers in the state who divert petroleum products.
When we got to this place, we had over 9,000. And some people told us that they were selling at 200, and we made them. Some so-called major marketers, we removed their noses because look, they have been indoors for too long. A mere petrol attendant cannot decide when and how to sell. When we have an emergency, what they do is they sell for 2-3 hours. Then before you know what is happening, they say they are not selling. They determine when they sell. They meanwhile they've been selling to people. These people who don't have license to pick from NNPC, where are they getting this product from? Where? We'll be monitoring all the entry points into the state. They allow the major marketers to go. We monitor, we follow. Where are they getting?
The Senior Special Assistant on Special Duties and Strategies, Dr. Donyo Debowale, said Governor Akeredolu has directed that no petrol station must keep above 500 litres of petrol in its dump. Dr. Debowale, who is the chairman of the Governor's Special Task Force, noted that airing stations risk closure.
The governor has directed that nobody must keep anything below 500 desktop. You cannot keep beyond 500 in your dump. And you must sell. If you don't want to sell, you don't want to do this business, we will assist you to shut your station.
Some residents who berated the activities of Shylock marketers lauded the task force for being effective.
The situation in Delta State is better than this because the queue is not many. You can get to any police station and get your own fare at your own convenient time.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited has continued to assure Nigerians of its continued efforts to increase the supply of petroleum products to its end users. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
As part of the 2022 celebration of Mothering Sunday, the Anglican Diocese of Owo has put together a special diocesan seminar. The seminar, with the theme Effective Parenting and Child Upbringing in the 21st Century, is billed to hold tomorrow at the Cathedral Church of St. Andrew in Molawo. Guests expected at the seminar include the Ondo State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Dr. Adebumi Oshadang, and the Olukmeme of Ukweme, Oba Ebenezer Adewumi, among others. The program is billed for 10 o'clock in the morning. Inspector General of Police Usman Al-Kali Baba has enjoined officers of Ondo State Police Command not to be lured by those he called faceless elements propagating possible industrial action in the force. Al-Kali Baba, who gave the advice while meeting officers of the State Police Command, said the implementation of the new salary structure for the Nigeria Police Force will soon commence. Zahid Aribisala reports that the officers were tasked on professionalism in the discharge of their duties.
The arrival of the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Kali Baba, to Ondo State was greeted with a special guard of honor and a rousing welcome by senior officers of the command. Over 200 officers of the command, drawn from all the ranks of the police across the state, are in attendance for the impromptu visit by the police boss following reports of possible nationwide strike in the force. IGP Usman Baba, who was represented by Supervising Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Southwest, Johnson Kokumo, said the visit was to intimate officers on various ongoing efforts to improve their service. The IGP noted that the new salary structure approved by President Muhammadu Buhari will soon be implemented as computation of necessary data has been completed.
I want to assure you that any moment from now, there shall be better smiles on our faces. I want to quickly caution that you don't allow disgruntled elements to lure you into anything that will be inimical to your work, to your profession. Many of these people are faceless. Many of them are looking for people to use as scapegoats. By the time payment of the salary increase and the areas commences, they will have opportunity to laugh at you when you are in trouble.
The DIG, who is also in charge of research and planning at the force headquarters, said phase 1 of the rehabilitation of barracks and offices has commenced, while efforts are on to exit the force from the current contributory pension scheme, charging officers on professionalism.
Be humane, be just, do your job, carry out your duties and responsibilities with diligence. Let there be a very healthy respect for the rights of the citizens.
Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 17, Ondo and Ekiti States, Etim Ene Okon, assured the police hierarchy of no strike by men of the commands.
When you go back to Abuja, help me tell the IG that Zone 17 has said he should sleep and sleep well and forget about the issue of it is not contemplated here.
With the renewed commitment and assurance to better the welfare of officers of the Nigerian police force, many Nigerians are optimistic that the development will contribute to enhancement in service delivery by police officers. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has admonished the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to avoid being used for partisan politics or to settle personal disputes. Buhari, during the unveiling of the EFCC's standard operating procedures, policies and manuals, urged the anti-graft agency to focus on serving the nation whilst entrenching good governance. The president also advised the EFCC leadership, including all operatives of the commission, to resist the temptation of being influenced by political actors for personal gains. The chairman of the commission earlier said the agency was undergoing various phases of reforms, including the production of the manual, to reposition it for the task of fighting financial crimes in the country. He appreciated the President and the National Assembly for the confidence reposed in his ability and competence to take over the leadership of the organization. Ile-Ife indigents under the aegis of Ife Progressive Forum say that oath of secrecy was administered on members of the selection committee before the process of selecting a new vice-chancellor for Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife commenced. The appointment of Professor Simeon Bamire as the 12th vice-chancellor of the university has been greeted with protests by indigents of Ile-Ife who felt aspirants for the post who are indigents of the town were schemed out. Although the group announced suspension of the protest, it called on the President, Muhammadu Buhari, and the Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, to investigate the selection process and ensure justice. It insisted that two indigents of the town, Professor Rufus Adedoyin and Professor Makinde, got the highest scores during the interview, and one of them should have been appointed Vice-Chancellor if the process was transparent. And of course, we move on to sports. Nigerians look forward to a good result as the Super Eagles clash with the Black Stars of Ghana tonight in the first leg of their Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup playoff in Kumasi. It is the 9th meeting between Nigeria and Ghana in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers as the Eagles face a daunting task of taking the advantage in the first leg against their traditional rivals. Our man Abiodun Adewale takes us through the build-up ahead of tonight's encounter.
Comes to fighting for a place at the FIFA World Cup, there is history and bragging rights between Nigeria and Ghana. As fate will have it, for the 9th time in the history of both countries, Nigeria and Ghana go head-to-head for a place in Qatar 2022, with hostilities commencing at the Baba Yara Stadium in Kumasi, the chosen home ground of the Black Stars for the double-header. The fixture is coming at a pretty difficult moment in Ghanaian football, following an ill-fated campaign at the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon. While the Ghanaians are still reassembling the broken pieces of their national team, the Super Eagles of Nigeria enjoy continuity, but they must also banish the disappointing memories of the last AFCON in Cameroon. Perhaps on a clean slate, Ghana and Nigeria will file out tonight in the first leg of the encounter with points to prove, and the Super Eagles are tipped for a desirable result based on present form.
I'm looking forward to an interesting game, a cagey game, but it's going to be a game of fine margin or defined by little errors.
Nigeria, Ghana have always been a rivalry. Aside football stuff, rivalry and everything, it's going to be a tough game.
From every part of the team is competitive, and anybody thrown to the field should be able to deliver on the day.
There have been 8 World Cup qualifiers between Ghana and Nigeria, with 2 wins on each side, while 4 of those games have ended in draws. However, it is the Black Stars who have successfully prevented Nigeria from appearing at the World Cup on most of the occasions they had met.
We need to look at plan B, or what to do. If we play from the midfield and nothing happens, we can go back to the normal way of playing, that means playing from the flank.
Beyond the pitch, but in anticipation of the showdown, the Ghanaians have displayed some antics since the arrival of the Super Eagles, while their fans are already in the mood ahead of the first leg.
Our preparations are in top gear to mobilize not just only the state ESCOs, our able members, and to see how we can go in our large numbers to support our darling Super Eagles of Nigeria in the return leg match coming up in Abuja.
There is so much to do for a single ticket between two nations of rich football culture, but how well both teams will bank on their strength is what remains to be seen.
To end the news at 7, a quick look at the major highlights. Ondo State government has entered into partnership with the World Bank to save communities threatened by erosion. And all is set for the National Convention of the All Progressives Congress in Abuja. That's it on the news at 7. Thank you for being a part of it. Good evening.